What up, YouTube? You got Sarge here. Shout out to Crap Nation crew. What up, Crap Nation people? Yo, before I get started tonight on my little trip report here of heading down to Shreveport, I want to give a big shout out to Mel Lumho over there at Craps Hawaii, repping for Craps Hawaii tonight. What up, brother? All right. Hope you're doing well, Mel. So, yeah, I'm going to give you a little back brief on my latest excursion down to Shreveport, Louisiana, and made some notes there. Some will be referencing my notes as we go along, so bear with me. Yeah, before I get started, I'm going to set the backdrop of what the things that went into my mind just prior to this trip to kind of set the stage. So, first thing, the backdrop of this is, it's Christmas time. Hey, got Christmas around the corner, so I couldn't go wild with my bankroll like I normally like to do. Oh well, hell, nobody might be getting anything for Christmas if things went south. So kind of cut back on the bankroll a little. That being said, funny thing is, right about this time, George from CY, if you've been watching his channel, big shout out to George. What up, brother? Has been doing this series on responsible betting, okay, kind of basically low rolling type stuff, instead of going in with $1,000 plus bankroll. I think he's been working with 500 and below, and that was like, okay, you know what, makes sense, so kind of went with that, that being in mind. And then here's something else that kind of stuck out. One night in the chat room, my good friend Henry, Silent Shooter, what up, Henry? He made a comment. It wasn't directed at me, just a general comment. He said, hey man, the guys that I really like and look up to are those guys that can take a little bit of money and turn it into a lot. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. And I said, you know what? If I consider myself a decent shooter, well, I'm going to challenge myself to at least try and do that. Take, let's say, at least $100 and turn it into 1,000 or something like that, So, and so that was something that I decided to challenge myself with on this trip. And that's it. That wasn't my total bankroll by any means, believe me. No. But anyhow, so that was a good comment Henry made, and it was poignant, and it kind of stuck in my mind. So, okay. Also, so like I said, I kind of took that. I challenged myself to take a little bit of money, get on the table, and try to make something of it. Turn it into a lot. See if I could grow it as opposed to going in heavy like I like to do. And try to work from there, which normally gets me in trouble most of the time. All right, and also, yeah, my goal was to buy in for at least $100 and see if I could make it into 1,000, and we'll see how that worked out. Also, want to give a big shout out to Mudslide Mac. Few months back, I asked Mudslide for some advice on what's a good strategy in how to approach the table when you first get to the casino and deal with random shooters and stuff like that. And his recommendation to me was, when you get to the table, you should use come bets until you feel that you're warmed up and your toss is working for you. And anybody that watches Mudslide, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you need to do so. Mudslide always uses come bet. He's one of the few people I don't use come bet, if at all, period. You probably never see me talk about come bet on my channel, but Mudslide always uses come bet, at least 90% of the time. And he talked about taking up at least, doing 2 come bet and having your pass line, so you got at least 3 spots occupied and working from there. And I thought, you know what? That's probably a good strategic way to protect your bankroll until you feel warmed up. And again, these were the things that was in the back of my mind heading down there. So Yeah, I went down there with that in the back of my mind, and I said, kind of, that's how I was gonna play until I get dialed in, and so and I like playing green chips right off the bat. I like going 160 across. That's what if you ever watch my channel, that's what you see me practice. But I decided I'm gonna play red chips only and try to grow it just like that challenge that I put upon myself from Henry. So that was interesting. Uh, also before I went down there, I I always watch a lot of Cashier Cage. I watch all the Cashier Cage video, and on the side I practice the chopper. I practice throwing the chopper, and I'm glued to Cashier Cage chopper toss, and I've been practicing it and decided, you know what, when I get to the casino, I'm gonna try out this toss, just to see if I can and do it at the casino on a regular table. I tried it up at Chop Talk on the hybrid table. Didn't quite. Actually, it did go well on the hybrid table. But if you know anything about hybrid, that's plexiglass. On a regular table, the felt's a little bit different. So the dice acted kind of strange the last time I tried it, and I didn't have good success. But I decided to try this time, so I brushed up on my crapless, my chopper throw. So big shout out to Cashier Cage. What up, bro? All right, so yeah. All that being said, like I said, that's the backdrop leading into Shreveport excursion. Day one, wife and I headed down there. Made a 4.5 hour trip. Got down there, checked into Bali's, formerly El Dorado, and got there about 2:30 in the afternoon. It was a Tuesday afternoon. The room was comped, so that was great, and we had plenty of coupons for food and stuff, so that worked out great. So basically, all our money was spending money to play with, so that was good. Just the way the casino likes it. That's why they give us all those comps and stuff. And yeah, that wasn't an issue. About an hour after we got there, we went downstairs, hit the casino. My wife took off to the slots. I made a beeline over to the craps pit, got over there, and walked in, and let's see, the crapless crap table was open. The regular crap table wasn't open. But that was like great, perfect. I was like, crapless crap. That's what I wanted to play anyhow. So I walked over there to the crapless crap table. Actually, before I went to the table, I take that back. I went straight to the Cashier Cage and cashed in my $90 in free play that I had, free play chips. And so that worked out. Collected my $90 in chips, and then headed over to the table. Okay, so got there on the table. The SR3 position was open. This was it's a 14-foot table, semi-bouncy, and it was a $10 table. Okay, crapless crap. And there was about 5 people on the table, and I took up my position at SR3, my regular shooting position. So that was great. Bought in for $100 and waited for the dice to come around and played 6-8 on all the randos. Now you'll hear me say randos, but those guys down there are regulars. I know a lot of them, but seen them, don't know them personally, and those guys a lot of them are rhythm rollers. Okay, and them guys can catch a roll and get some serious rolls going. So once I recruit my $24 investment, I would begin to spread out, sprawl out, and cover all the numbers on those guys. And I actually was doing pretty decent on a lot of the shooters, so it was working out nicely. So anyhow, by the time the dice came around to me, Actually, I use my free play chips on the randos as while I was waiting for the dice to come around, and I didn't get a chance to recoup on any of them. Okay, I put those $25 on the 6 and 8, and they got gobbled up real quick. A couple of PSO'd. By the time the dice came to me, I think all I had left was $15, and in free play bet, and I just went ahead and I think I put it on the sixth place, 6-8, and went 44 inside, and took it from there. So yeah, the dice came to me, and I come betted twice, and I think it was like a 4 and a 6, and the point was 8. And after 4 rolls, I sevened out. I was using my 3-finger paw throw, and it just again, this was my first throw of the day, so it wasn't dialed in or anything. So let's see. Then let's see. The dice came around to me again after 5 rolls, 7 out. So just wasn't getting any traction, and I realized after the second 7 out, I paid close attention and realized I was throwing, my sevens were 5-2, so I was double pitching, because I normally use a 5-4, 5-4-1-4, which is basically a 2V hybrid, and if I double pitch on the left and single pitch on the right, I'll end up with 7, and that's what was happening constantly. 5-2-7. All my sevens were 5-2. So I said, okay, you know what? I waited till the dice came around. Next time, I said I'm gonna make an adjustment, and I went to the Kissing Threes. This was crapless crap, and Kissing Threes I figured would be perfect for this, because Kissing Threes should give you a lot of crap numbers. For me, it normally does. If I sing any single pitch, you'll end up with the 6s, 3s, aces. So I tried it out, and yeah, I promptly PSO'd the next hand. So was down $200 just like that. That's a sickening feeling within like an hour and a half, 2 hours after you get to the casino, you're down. Gotta dig yourself out a hole. So anyhow, so just played 3-hand there. Like I said, it was light traffic on the table. Left that table, I decided, you know what, let me get off the table and recoup my thoughts. I went over to the blackjack table, single deck blackjack, decided to sit down there. Bought him for 200. Figure I'll just sit there for another hour or so and play it out. And about an hour later, down another $200, just like that. Couldn't get anything going on the single deck blackjack table either. I like playing the other blackjack table, but single deck seems to be a little bit more, how should I say, balanced game, as opposed to 3-deck or 6-deck. I kind of favor single deck right now. So about that time, the wife came over and said, hey, let's take a walk next door and go over to Sam's Town and check it out. So I was like, okay, it's cool, so let's do that. So we walked over to Sam's Town, headed in. She made a beeline to her slots. I'm over at the craps pit, went over there, and to my surprise, the 12-foot table that they had there all these years was gone, and now replaced with a 14-foot aircraft carrier, like all the other tables. I was like, wow, because I was kind of so looking forward to playing on that table. So just so you know, there is no 12-foot table in Sam's Town, if those of you that's familiar with it. Okay, it's been replaced with a 14-footer, and but the biggest surprise was it was a $5 table, and there was only three people on it when I walked in. So this was perfect. And on top of that, of course, my SR3 position was open. So I was like, okay, cool. So walked up there, bought in for $100, and decided to I loaded up, went 64 across, and with a 333 for the dealer, with a 333 up on the ATS. That's the max bet they let you do a Sam's down for the bonus bet, 333. And I did a 111 for the dealers. And let's see, a couple of guys, the other guys on the table had some decent rolls prior to me. I 6-8'd all of them and sprawled out, but you know, I made like $50 on those guys, so that worked out. And then the dice came to me. By the time the dice came to me, yep, was up $15. I loaded up, went 64 across, and let's see, had 4, and I also had my 4 and 10, the hard 4 and 10, and I promptly 7 out on my first throw. I was like, son of are you serious? So that was not cool. So I immediately rebought for $100. So back in the pocket again. Played about 3 hands on that second $100 between just me and the fellows that was there. So kind of going up, down, getting some, had a few rolls of a 5, a 9, a 6, but just couldn't get any decent solid roll where I felt comfortable upping my bets or doing anything, you know, like I like to do, getting rolls up in the teens, the high teens or whatever. So by the time I left that table, I was down another 200. Basically, the bankroll slowly being depleted, going down, down, down. For me, that's slow because I've been known to walk in the casino and within a half hour I'm down $400-500, just like that. Because again, I like betting across 160 old school and staying up for 5 hits. You don't get those 5 hits in, it's feast or famine, and a lot of time it's famine. But yeah, didn't quite do that this time. Like I said, Christmas, no one have to turn into Grinch. You know, don't want to be up the bankroll. So kind of betted responsibly. Thank you, George. So after that, I didn't stay over there at Sam's Town long. Went back to Bali's. Me and the wife decided to walk back over to Bali's. By that time it was dinner time. We walked back over, had dinner at the restaurant. Incidentally, the buffet at Bali's is closed. I think it might be closed because it was the weekday and the traffic during the weekday is light. So, you know, they just had the, I want to say the Sportsman restaurant. That's not what it's called, but the little eating restaurant was open. So that's where we had dinner. That dinner was good. Food's decent. Nothing to write home about. Okay, so after dinner, we headed back in, got back on the, went back to the table. The crapless crap table was packed, and they had opened up a second table, the regular crap table. Both these tables are 14-foot table, and after playing on both of them, I'll classify them as being semi-bouncy. You know, as a maybe neutral bounce, a semi-bounce, maybe a 6 or 7 or something like that. So because the table was filled up, what I do, I decided, okay, well, actually, I played a little slots for a minute. I think I won $50 on slot. I'm not big on slots, but then I went back over to the single deck blackjack. Single deck blackjack always had a spot open, so got on that table, bought in for $100, played a little. I think by the time I got off the table, lost another $100 on single deck, and looked over to the regular crap table and saw that stick left 3 was open, and I was like, you know what? I'm going back on the table. Made a beeline, headed over to the table, and remember, I'm a lefty, so I normally like to shoot from the right side of the table, but this was the left side of the table that was open, so had to change up my style there. So I go over there and bought him for $200, and it was a pretty packed table. So I 6'8" all the randos. Oh, like I said, those guys are rhythm roller randos, and they can get some pretty hot rolls going. So waiting for the dice to come around, I made a little money in those guys. Okay, and by the time the dice came to me, I I had dice came to me. Like I said, I'm on the left side of the table, so I broke out the pinch whip. Okay, broke down my Mudslide Max pinch grip. Shout out to Mudslide Mac. And yeah, I this as soon as I picked the dice up, and the funny thing is, I haven't practiced the pinch grip in quite a while. I haven't. I've been practicing everything else, my regular paw toss, practiced the chopper quite a bit because I really wanted to try and use it at the casino, and just kind of neglected the pinch grip. But I kind of know I have it in my toolbox, and like I said, it's my sledgehammer when I need to get on the table and get something going. And boy, oh boy, did it work out. So I got on the table with the pinch grip and went. I think I went 110 inside, 3 hits, regressed my bets down, and then went to 44 inside, and then begin for each hit I sprawled out until I had everything covered, the 4 and 10, and ended up with a 24 roll that hand. And everybody at the table was like, yeah, come on, shooter, yeah. Everybody gets hyped up when you get a nice long roll going. So that was a 24 roll hand with a pinch grip. By the time I walked away from the table, I think I cashed in probably up with a profit of about $100, $150 or something like that. So that was decent. And the reason I left the table was, again, I wanted to get on a crapless crap table, and I looked over and saw that stick right 3 was open in the crapless crap. I know, why leave the table that you're doing good on? I don't know, glutton for punishment, but I guess I was so hell-bent on shooting on the crapless crap table and trying out different sets and stuff. So anyhow, left the regular crap table, ran over to the crapless crap table, stick right 3 position, bought back in for 200. When the dice came to me, went back to my regular set, my 5-4-1-5 set, but I made an adjustment. Now, instead of throwing the dice with regular medium arc on them, I decided to go with a low trajectory toss, which is what I've been practicing all along. And what I had realized was when I was tossing the dice earlier, the dice were I was landing about 6 to 8 inches from the back wall. The dice would hit the diamonds and ricochet off and get kicked back anywhere from 12 to 18 inches down the table. And I was like, okay. So as soon as I switched to the low trajectory and, let them rip, keeping my fingers nice and tight, the first toss, when those dice landed, they stuck at the back wall. It was like a perfect 10, they just, I was like, okay, that's it. That's the adjustment I need. And that session there, I tossed, let's see, I tossed, that was a 21 roll hand, okay? It was a 21 roll hand, that session. And I think I also hit the ATS I think I hit the ATS small during that session. Okay, so by that time it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was time to call it a night. So that's how day one ended. I ended the day being down $500. So next day I was already scheming for day two. Laying there in bed thinking, okay, that's the adjustment I need. So now I know how I need to approach the table from now on. Instead of throwing with uh, uh, high, medium to high arc, keep them low trajectory. And so I was like, okay, cool. So next day, day two, went back down. We didn't even do breakfast. We anything. We just woke up, headed downstairs. By the time we got downstairs, it was really 3 o'clock. We're late sleepers, because we stay up late, we sleep in late. We just take our time. So we got down there. It's almost by 2:30, 3 o'clock. Bought in on the Crapless Crap Table. The Crapless Crap Table is always open in Bally's as opposed to the traditional crap table. First hand, again, using my 5-4, 1-5 set with a low trajectory. I had a 10 roll hand. Okay. Second hand had an 18 roll, hit the tall, needed a 2 for the small. The third hand had a 7 roll hand. So it's like, okay. And again, that's something that George from CY had. George told me, hey, bro, always remember, after you toss a long hand, a decent hand, be aware, be prepared that, excuse me, that the next hand might probably be a short hand. So bet smart, bet accordingly. And I remember that. So after that 18 roll hand, the next hand, I think instead of loading up going 64 across anything, I just went 44 inside and stayed up for 2 hits, came down. So I really didn't give anything back. So I was now in the upswing. Okay, and by that time it was about 5:30ish or so. Traffic started to pick up. The wife came, said, actually, no, take that back. That was the third hand. I had a 7 hand, 7 roll hand. The fourth roll, okay, the fourth hand, I decided, you know what? Let me try something. I've been practicing the chopper, and let me just give it a shot. Okay, let me reach in my toolbox and pull this out, since my rolls seem to be getting a little mediocre here now. And wouldn't you know, I PSO'd right off the bat. Okay, I think I went 44 inside, and I PSO'd. Bottom line, excuse me. But in throwing the chopper, the first thing I noticed was my dice were hitting the back wall hard. They were ricocheting off the back wall, as opposed to, if anybody that watches Cashier Cage and knows how the chopper's thrown, he talks about laying them down like 2 flat tires. I was not laying them down. I was laying them down like Babe Ruth was hitting them back to me. They was hitting the wall and just kind of bouncing back down. So, and that was just 2 toss. Like I said, I set the point, PSO'd. And so I decided, you know what? Adjustment. As opposed to, before I was landing the dice about 24 inches from the back wall, I decided, I'm going to try something. I moved my landing zone back about 15 inches. So when you look at the word come from where I was aiming for the E in come towards the back wall, which was probably more like about 40 inches away. Those dice came around to me. The first toss, the minute I let them rip, those dice bounce from that E straight to the back wall and lay down like two flat tires. Yeah, baby. I was like, I'm on to something here. I went on to roll that hand of, let's see, because I actually wrote it down here. Now, I had a 15 roll hand. 15 roll hand, and I made the small, okay? I made the small during that session. And all the toss, I mean, when those dice landed, they were staying cropped it together so beautifully. There was little to no rollout off the back wall. And just for shits and grins, if I thought I was going to throw hard, I decided, you know what, let me short roll just to see, you know, how bad I'm going to get yelled at. Psh, they ain't said a damn thing to me. And when I short roll, I didn't like really short roll. I just purposely didn't hit the back wall, but just kind of let them come up close to the back wall. I only did it for one roll just to see what would happen. Nobody said anything, you know. Well, actually, there was people who was throwing dice who shot that literally the dice didn't even make it nowhere close to the back wall, and they didn't bother them. So, but I just did that for the hell of it. So anyhow, so yes, the chopper started working. I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. The chopper's, you know, the chopper's doing what it's supposed to do, and I'm starting to lay him down properly. I think even Cashier Cage would have given me the nod and said, all right, handle your business. So, yeah. And then, and like I said, the dice wasn't just, they were laying out, but they were just tapping the back wall. Once I made that adjustment and had them landing from anywhere from 36 to 40 inches, when they first hit the table after my release, they would just go and tap the back wall and lay down beautifully. I was like, wow. I was like, okay. Hey, folks, the toss really worked. And I'm going to say this, take the time out to say this at this time. If you're interested in the chopper, folks, you need to check out Cashier Cage channel. Contact him direct. You know, he'll give you some pointers. Check out his videos. I've sat down and deciphered them and watched them over and over, and I've learned a lot, taken a lot of notes, and man, guys, I'm telling you, the chopper works, and it works beautiful. Now, what I had really focused on using the chopper for trying to learn the chopper was for those hybrid tables, those E-tables, because I've thrown it down a chop talk, and man, I had some great rolls, some very decent roll. All rolls was mainly in the teens. However, when I had tried it down a chop top on the regular crap table, something wasn't right. I couldn't get the dice to land and act right. You know, they kept on spinning out, and I was just sevening out constantly. But by the time I got down here to Shreveport, I think I had made all the adjustment, practiced it enough to where, you know, it didn't matter if the dice were big, small, and the dice they had down there were in. They were using the 7.75s. Yes, the dice down there were the big dice. So yeah, it felt good in my hand and everything. So, all right, moving on. So yep. So we decided to yeah. After that, I colored up. After that 15 roll hand, I made the small, which paid out $175. I colored up, cashed in, and went next door to Sam's Town. Now, the day before Sam's Town didn't do so hot. Went over there and I decided, you know what? I'm going to hitch my wagon to the chopper from here on out. I'm throwing straight chopper, not going to mess around with golden touch, par type throw, anything. Let's just, you know, ride this chopper. and see how it goes. Let's see if I can fly this bad boy into some money. So anyhow, went over to Sam's Town, walked in. Again, still a $5 table. Yes, table's empty. Got my position. Walked up, bought in $200, and I decided, you know what? Worst case scenario, in case the chopper isn't working like I figured, I'm just gonna come bet all my bets at the lowest denomination, $5. So that's what I did. I placed $5 in the pass line, 5 in the come. The dice came to me, and I commenced the rolling. And before you know it, I'm hitting all my points. I went 3-3-3 on the ATS. The first hand, I think. Let's see. What I got here in my notes. Once again, there was about 3 guys on the table, and those guys were good rhythm rollers also. So we had a good group on the table. Matter of fact, there was this old cat on there that I shot with before, and when I seen him, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna bet on him. I loaded up 64 across and got my 5 hits in on him and regress. And from there on, I did the same thing for myself too. So, but actually, okay, let's see. I'm lost here in my notes. Give me a second. And yeah, okay. So forget about notes. So after that, went back next door. After that hand, after in Sam's Town, the first hand was 21 roll hand. Okay, I went 3-3-3 on the ATS and a 1-1-1 for the dealers. I made the tall and needed aces for the small. Didn't get the aces, and the dealers was like, "Oh man, all you needed were aces," and I was like, "Yeah." So the dice kind of went around real quick and came back to me, and so now I go back up 3-3-3, put the dealers back up for 1-1-1, and commence to throw in the chopper again. Since the tables are 14-foot tables, everything pretty much set up the same. I'm landing using the same landing zone, landing the dice right at that about at 36 to 40 inches from the back wall on the E in the come area, and the dice are just, man, the dice are just tapping the back wall, laying down like them pancake syrup. Bring me the fixer flat, cashier cage. Dog, you'll be proud. It was a thing of beauty. Okay, not as great as you, but the toss looked pretty good. So anyhow, the second roll, I hit the tall again, and now I'm rolling. There was a guy over there. You would think he was having a baby. He was screaming every time I hit the hard 6, cause I think he parlayed the 6 about 3 times. Every time I hit the 6, I hit it hard. Hell, after I seen that he was betting it, and I realized, yeah, I'm hitting the shit out of it, I went ahead and bet it, and I hit it twice, and pressed it, so I got $90 on the hard 6. And anyhow, so he hit it. I rolled, and I think I made like 3 points, and then still needed the aces to make the small. And man, I decided, you know what, let me just go ahead, and I kind of put a slightly nice high arch on the chopper and let them bounce down solid, and they came up and flipped over. Bam, aces. Man, them dealers started high-fiving. Well, hell, I had them written in the will, so they was happy. They was getting paid. So so I collected what was it? It's 31-1. So I got paid out like 105 for the tall. I mean for the small, and then over was it like 550 for 175 to 1 on the small. I mean on the all for a 333 bet. So yeah, and like I said, all this time along, remember I'm come betting $5. Okay, this is a $5 table. I'm not even playing 10. I wasn't even playing, going my usual green, which if I was playing green, oh I would have made some money, but I was playing $5 and come betting, taking double odds on a 6-8, 5-9 double odds, 4-10 single odds. So and hit everything, hit all my points every time. And like I said, after the when that roll came to end, it was finally a 24-25 roll hand. So I rolled a 21 hand and a 25 hand, hit the small the first hand, made the all the second hand, and tipped the dealers $100, colored up $1,100, tipped the dealer $100, and in addition to having them up for 111, so the dealer made out like a fat cat, and maybe that's why they didn't give me any shit when a time or two the dice didn't touch the back wall, but they just didn't really give me any grief over it. So, but it worked out great. After that, called it up and bidded them goodbye and headed back next door, and so we got back next door now, and I go back to the crapless crap table, and the stick left 2 position, stick left 3 position is open, and you gotta. I'm gonna try to make this. I didn't want to make this video long, but this part is real good. Okay, the guy next to me is I shot with him before, pretty good shooter, rhythm roller, and he turned to me. He's like, "Damn, I'm down 8,000." I'm like, "Oh shit," Dice came to me. I think the dice came to him. He had just PSO'd, and I could see he's raising holy hell, and I commenced to using my pinch grip, and had a decent roll, a 10 roll hand, and but of course he was looking for it to be a longer hand, hoping for it to be a longer hand, and he didn't. He was pressing his bets and all that stuff. He was a black chip player, okay, straight black chip. So now the dice go around, come back to him, and since he had just PSO'd, and I had went 5-5-5 on him, I was like, didn't feel like going back up on him for 5-5-5. Anyhow, so I decided, let me take it easy on him. I go 6-8, and this guy commenced to go on a roll. And when I said a roll, and remember, he's a black chip player. He's already bitching. He's down $8,000. He's pressing, just rhythm rolling. He's setting, but he's kind of in rhythm, and getting them out real quick as they come to him. And I tell you what, he in between hand, I think he needed the usual bookends for the ATS. He had like I think he had he had 5-5-5 in the ATS. He reset the ATS mid hand, and I started to go back up, but I didn't. Big mistake. Anyhow, this is after this guy's already done have about a 20 roll hand. I'm figuring, it's probably gonna peter out here. So he goes on to roll for at least another 30 rolls, hitting the ATS. Okay, and on this, the crap was crap. On the 12, he pressed the 12. I think he pressed the 12 at least 2 or 3 times. Okay, because I think they were saying on the next hit if you hit it or what he had on there, it would have been $5,000. Okay, but bottom line is, when he finally sevened out after, I'm gonna say mildly, a 40 to 50 roll hand, he called it up $25,000. Okay, that's like, wow. Okay, that's the first time I ever seen that kind of money made in such a short hand like that, you know. And he was standing right next to me because he's like, hey, yeah, you know. And I'm like, yeah, way to go, shooter, way to go, shooter. So that was the highlight of my night. And so he finally sevened out, and as soon as he sevened out and colored up, when he pushed all those chips in out his rack, they gave him back 5 orange chips. Okay, orange, not yellow, orange chips. $25,000. He's like, yep, I got my 8,000 back. And then he fist bumped me, and I was like, hey, good shooting, shooter. Wow, that was a hell of a thing, man. So yeah, and the dice came to me, and what I do, I PSO'd. How do you follow something like that? Yeah, that was too funny. So anyhow, after that, I stayed down there, played. By this time, I'm back. I'm up 500, and decided, you know what? I'm just gonna play defense from here. Not gonna give anything back to the casino. I think I went and played a little single deck blackjack. Went over, played some bubble crap at the $3 level or whatever. Just kind of killing time. Walked the wife up to the room. Went back downstairs. Got back on the table. Decided, you know what? Buy back in for 100. Try to chop her out one more time. Had a 12 roll hand. Was able to get I think I took 3 hits and quickly regress. And that's after going 44 inside. And yeah, that's how I ended the night after that hand. I kind of stuck around and watched some of the regular shooters on the the regulars play, and I'm gonna tell you, it was funny how those guys, the regulars up there, play craps totally differently than most of us play crap. What they do is, I was watching one guy over on the regular craps table. He had $100, well, 25, 25, 25 on all the hard ways only. He only played the hard ways and had the pass line bet, and that was it, and the ATS bet, and was just rolling. I stood there and watched this guy roll, I shit you not, at least 10 hard ways. Okay, he was getting paid on those hard ways, but he didn't have any of the place bets. He didn't have any place bets. All he had was hard ways, his pass line bet, and the ATS bet. He never hit the ATS, but he hit the shit out of those hard ways with $25 on all the hard ways covered. Like, wow. And then I walked back over to the crapless crap table and was watching those guys for a minute. They was basically doing the same thing. They had absolutely no money on any of the place bets for the on the crapless crap table, but they had the pass line and the ATS bet, just the bonus. That was it. They was rolling. These guys had some rolls of at least 20 rolls apiece. One guy was on one end of the table, because by this time it was about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I was going to hit the road later on that day, so I stayed up and just watched. Decided I'm not playing anymore, and I watched those guys, man. With either of those 2 guys shooting, anybody could have made some money easily, but they choose to their focus is making their money on the bonus, just the ATS bet only. And that's what, I guess they're in there every evening and they know the tables well enough to know what's gonna happen, what they can do and not do, whatever, and they feel comfortable doing that. And matter of fact, I had watched one guy earlier, one of those same guys, make the ATS, and he had a 555 up there. So I guess that's how they play. That is not my style of play. If I'm playing, I'm betting across or betting inside. I'm betting the box numbers. But those guys, I guess, if you play as frequent as they do, which is probably daily, that's how they spread their bankroll out and try to make their money by hitting the bonus. So, which is interesting. It's an interesting style of play. I'm gonna say ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just it's different. So, but with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down here. But it was a good trip. Me and the wife had a blast. I think she even made some money on the slots because she came over and gave me what's it, $50 after hitting. I think she said she hit for 150 on a slot machine. My wife is a low roller. She doesn't go in there and go too big on the slot. So, but when she came and gave me, I was like, ooh, we made some money. So that was cool. So all in all, we had a blast down there in Shreveport. Looking forward to doing it again. I think next time we'll probably be heading up to Choctaw. Hopefully I can coordinate this and hit it right and link up with some of the Crap Nation crew, and we can have a Crap Nation meet. I just missed the last one that we just had here with your girl and the rest of the crew that was down there. Looked like everybody had a blast, but hope to be there next time. So all that being said, it's been the Sarge Shreveport trip report, getting it in, and this probably, I'm not sure if I'm going to get sick, but let me go ahead and say, hey, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Take care, my peeps. Crap Nation, Sarge out.